Hello everyone, my name is Michael and I am talking to you from The Verse. If you're not sure what The Verse is, I encourage you to go to my website at rewritingtheverse.com, and there you'll find everything that I already know about The Verse, along with some written updates and all the YouTube videos that I've already recorded. Since this is a 1212 portal specific video, I do have another video, two other videos connected to the 1212 portal already recorded and on that website. So please look at those to help give you a little bit of information that's leading up to this video. This video is big for several reasons. This is the first time that after 13 to 14 years worth of doing past life regressions and rewrites that I will actually record a full rewrite. So even if I have to edit a little bit in here, please note that it is all one rewrite, one regression. So you're going to get all the important points that I hit in this live rewrite. And you will learn right along with me all the details about this. I did not try to look down the timeline ahead of time at all. And hopefully, you know, my guides and everybody else that's helping with this will help keep this succinct and shorter maybe than most of them that I've done, just for everybody's sake. So what I already know about the 1212 portal is that we actually had to do a past life regression and rewrite just a few days ago, which I did talk about and at least tell you in detail about that past life regression in one of the previous videos. That we actually had to go back 1800 years ago and rewrite a past life from that time that had blocked us or just wasn't successful in clearing the last portal that we needed to have cleared before this one. That's all going to happen just in a few days. Had no idea that's what was going to be needed, but it was successfully navigated in that rewrite. So that portal has been cleared, and now we have 1800 years worth of success and living within that new energy of that portal. However, we are not lined up fully with the 1212 portal yet. This only gives us access to it now. We would not have been able to even get, we would have had no chance of getting through it this time had I not cleared that. So that's cleared, but we have more to do in the next few days. And it does appear that the twin flame energy, the divine masculine, divine feminine energy is the key driving force in getting us through this next portal. Now, my understanding is that you don't have to physically be with your twin flame, but it is important that there is some sort of a spiritual connection or knowing between the two. That seems to be the essential point. And thanks to that last past life rewrite, we've had 1800 years of that, but there's something else, another component that needs to be brought in, that needs to be healed, something else to help lift our vibration high enough to clear the 1212 portal. And the 1212 portal, it opens on 1212. However, it lasts until December 21st. And then the entire thing closes. And my understanding, it doesn't just close that portal, it closes an entire soul cycle. Closes at that time. And then we step into whatever our new future is, depending largely on how we land after that, after the closing of that portal. So this is a very crucial gateway that we're going to go through. And I am thinking this is why I needed to offer something that I've never offered before. And I actually haven't been on YouTube that long. So to offer a full-fledged live past life regression in front of millions of people, new experience for me, so please, you know, give me a little bit of grace if I stumble. But we'll see how this goes. All right, so I will be closing my eyes periodically, especially in the beginning, because a lot of my, well, I see through my third eye the images and the story they're trying to show me visibly. And unfortunately, a lot of light can work against that. The sun is going down out there, so it will probably get a little darker in this video, which is actually okay. It helps me. But I have this light shining in my eyes right now, so I'm sure I'll have to deal with that as well. But even though my eyes are closed, I never go into any kind of a trance and nothing like that. It's just to help me visualize better what they're trying to show me, okay? So the first thing I'll start with is I try to look back and see how long ago we're talking about, where this lifeline, this timeline is that I'm going to be looking at. So let's see, I'm getting 2,200 years. So that's about 200 BC, okay? And now I'll see if they can show me or tell me what part of the world we're in. What part of the world, what culture are we dealing with here? Okay, so they're showing me a lot of very thick green coniferous trees, like pines or firs or something along that line. Very thick, I guess, forest is what I'm seeing first. I'm getting it's fairly cold, although I don't see any snow yet, but it's a cold environment. I'm getting probably one of the northern areas of the planet. See what other details they can show me here. Okay, I am seeing off in that direction a small a smoke coming up from a fire. Sorry, I'm already having a difficulty articulating verbally what I'm seeing. But anyway, a small fire somewhere over there. So I'm going to head that way because most likely it has to do with some people. So I'm going to go and see. Now I see campfire for sure. Medium-sized one, and does not look like a permanent structure like a village of any kind. It just seems like there are people around a fire. Not wearing a lot of clothing. I'm feeling this might be a more primitive group. Let's see. Some people are wearing a little bit of fur as like something to keep them warm. Let's see. What are they doing? Most of them are just kind of squatting around this fire, so I don't even think they have too many like logs or anything that they're sitting on, at least not what I'm seeing right now. Just seems like an odd place. It feels like it's some sort of either a secret meeting or they just happen to be out and they need to sit down and talk about something. I feel like, yeah, there's some secrecy about this meeting though. And whatever it is, it's very important, and everybody seems to be quiet and waiting for whatever message to be conveyed. So, one of them is standing up. So far they all look male from what I can see. I can't see everything yet. This one is standing up. He does have, it has little horns. So it could either be like buffalo skin, buffalo, something that has small horns sticking out of it. Okay, I actually feel this might be a Native American group. Because if that's buffalo, I do feel like this could be one of the more northern tribes. So, okay. Of course, I can't understand the language, but the man is kind of pointing over I'm getting the word east. He's pointing towards the east. And I'm getting that he's actually telling them, at least whoever's meant to go, that a cross-country trip is warranted. I feel like they need to go as a delegate, something. They need to go and meet maybe the larger group of whatever Native Americans might be in the area. But it feels important that they go like immediately. But there's something that they need to convey to represent either their group or something important is going to actually, and I'm not thinking like 10 miles away. It seems like they're going to at least the next state or farther away. So it's going to be a journey, and it's already cold. So, you know, they may end up having to really trek through some snow or really cold conditions, but I'm really getting his urgency. We need to go now. I may be talking about everybody in that group. I'm thinking there's 8 to 10 people there, at least from what I can see. not getting really clear what the message is about yet, but there's an action and it needs to happen quickly. So I see some sort of a village. The men do eventually go back, spend a little time with their family before they, I don't know, say pack up, but because I'm not seeing a whole lot of things taken with them other than maybe, bows and arrows and real basic stuff, survival types of things to take with them. And I think it's unknown how long they will be gone, depending on weather, depending on a lot of things. So that's what I'm understanding. There's 11 of them. I'm seeing 11 of them now. I don't know if that person was there in that original talk or they're picked up now, but either way, there's a total of 11 is what I'm being shown. Okay. They're heading east. And I'm really getting a strong sense that this is a very urgent matter. Something very important. It's spiritual, whether it sounds spiritual or not, it is spiritual in nature. It will impact things on a high level. So they're on a mission, absolutely a mission. Very important one. I see them crossing over a major river. Trying to get a sense if they'll show me maybe what state they're in so we can think if are they crossing the Mississippi? I mean, this is a very, very wide river, very deep. I'm seeing, this is not something you could just take your horses across, which they're not going on horses, they're walking. Yeah, it's very muddy looking. So I'm just going to say for right now, it looks like the Mississippi to me. But they need to get to the other side, and I think they eventually find someone who has like a little ferry or something that will take them across. I don't think I get how nervous they are about crossing this river. None of them have ever seen a river this big before, this maybe even overflowing depending on the time of year. But they have to cross it somehow. So they do make it across, but that's I see a very concerning part of the trip for all of them. They make it to the other side. So we're talking leaving the Midwest, wherever they came from, and now heading over to the eastern part of what's now the U.S. See if they can show me any more details about. Okay, this is the second time they've given me this little blip, so I'm going to voice it and see how this turns out. It feels like a reverse Trail of Tears. I don't know if this same trail is used later in the Trail of Tears going the other way, or I'm not sure exactly what this is, but they've told me twice now that it's connected or somehow related to the Trail of Tears. So there you go. I'm not sure how that fits in yet. Okay. Wow. They did walk a long ways. I am finally seeing that they're going to Massachusetts. Wow. Okay, that's a long trek, especially on foot. This has taken them a long time, and yeah. In fact, I think they're down to 10 people. Somebody passed away along the way. Gosh, I hope nobody fell into the Mississippi. I mean, honestly, I don't think anybody did. I think it was more from the cold extremes or whatever. Somebody didn't make it. Sorry, whoever that was. You're probably watching. I'm sorry. But we're going to do this rewrite, and then your death will not be in vain, apparently. So thank you for your service, whoever you are. Okay. They all make it to Massachusetts. Now, I don't know enough about the Native American groups, especially in that part of the world. It seems to be a huge gathering. Huge. Obviously known well enough for somebody from at least the Midwest, making it all the way over there, taking and getting maybe at least 9 months or more. The weather It's definitely an issue. I'd say 9 months to a year, probably, of traveling to get there. So, why are they there? Why would this group, even though it was a great gathering, I'm sure it's lots of fun, there must be something more going on in this event that made it all the way back. So they're all gathering. It's a massive group. I've never seen, it's massive. It's huge. Maybe in the Boston area even, I'm not sure, but I've never seen a gathering this large of any Native American group. And I've seen plenty of battles. I've seen all sorts of things in the past lives I've done. I've never seen this massive of a group, especially gathered for peace, right? But there are representatives from everywhere, including, I want to say there's some from the West Coast that made it all the way there. So I think this was planned at least a couple years earlier so that it would have time to reach everybody. And be able to, people would have time to get there if they were going to come. Okay, this is a big celestial event. Kind of like, well, the equinoxes, the solstices, pretty much everybody knew the basics about certain times of the year. But it wasn't just a gathering. It wasn't just a gathering for, well, actually, right now, we do have the winter solstice coming up on December 21st. But I believe, maybe just like now, this is more than just a regular solstice that is connected maybe to, they may have been aware of this huge portal. Why else would this come up right now, right before we're going through the biggest portal we probably had in a long time? Okay, so this is a replay. That's what I'll say right now, unless I get other guidance. Many of the things that are happening in our life right now, individually, each of you have your own things going on. But because this is such an important event and it's requiring so much work on everybody's part to get through it, we are going through some major replays of situations in the past that were very challenging and we needed to heal right now. That's okay. That's what I'm getting. They knew that some humongous portal, maybe even the size of this one, was about to happen, and they needed to honor it, and they needed to do whatever they needed to do to pass through it. This is 200 BC, and they knew this. And I do believe it's very spiritual in nature, so most of the people that made this journey are most likely the spiritual people of the various tribes out there. And I don't think any of them necessarily knew what was going to happen either. Other than you wanted to be there for this kind of thing, especially if you were a spiritual person. This is what you probably were living for, and maybe even incarnate in that life for, because this was going to take a mass group effort for people to get through. This is why they were all gathered there. And I get this group of men showed up about 5 days or so before the actual event. And they were working against the clock, Many, especially the ones from the West. I don't know how on earth they got there on time, but they did. They made use of the warmer months to make some real movement. So they're already starting to do ceremonies. The various groups are doing their own ceremonial things to help with the vibration. Wow. Okay. I wish I knew more about this event that happened in, I think it was 1987. The harmonic convergence happened at that time, and unfortunately, I was in high school at the time, like I knew anything about that stuff. So I can't really tell you. Anybody in the comments is welcome to maybe say more about it, and maybe how it plays in with this timeline that we're looking at right now. Convergence would indicate the coming together of something, whether it's people, vibrations, something really huge And I think it was pretty much a global event too in 1987 from what I've read about it. But it was a very important spiritual day that probably did make a lot of difference on the planet. I just wasn't old enough to appreciate it yet. I feel like it's something at that level. It's a portal. What I'm seeing, what they're showing me is it's almost like whatever the people do, it's like a portal actually comes down vibrationally into the space that they create with all this ceremony and whatever they're doing. It's actually going to be called forth in a way. I'm not saying I know this, but this 1212 portal might not be what a lot of people think it looks like. Because I'm telling you, up until a couple days ago, we weren't even going to be able to clear this 1212 portal. And maybe I'm feeling a lot of energy right now. That must be what we need to do over the next few days. And as from 1212 to 1221 opening, we have to hold this space. Because we're going through this current one as one collective. So it's going to take more than just one or two, even very spiritually powerful people to lift us that high. It is going to take a group. We have to reach the critical mass. And we're all doing this in our own way right now, whether we're conscious of it or not. So this is what we're replaying, this whole timeline. So there was something similar to this that happened 200 BC, and we're looking at it probably not just to understand what this upcoming portal is. Something didn't go at the level that it probably should have or could have, and we probably need to heal it. So let me get back into this here. Everybody, as soon as they got there, whether they'd been there a month already or in the last 5 days like these men, they're coming in and they immediately set up their camp and they immediately start their ceremonies, because these ceremonies are happening round the clock. The moment you get there, you start to contribute to the energy. And there are still some people or groups that have not arrived yet, but they will, however many will. And every time somebody shows up, the vibration lifts again, because everybody has the same intention. I feel everybody is camping around this open field. So the open field would probably be the anchor point of where the portal lands or touches the planet, I don't know. And so everybody is encircling, wherever there's a space to help keep the balance, they're encircling this open field. So these men join right in as soon as they get there. So yeah, for the next 5 days, they're doing ceremonies constantly in the whole entire group. And this is getting bigger and bigger. This is millions? Are there even that many? Well, I'm getting millions. I was like, are there even that many Native American groups at that time? Well, I'm getting millions. Now, granted, this also includes people coming from probably Canada, maybe even up from Mexico, but still, a huge group of people holding the same intention. That's got to be rocking the entire planet. And what I'm just getting told is that there were similar groups around the world that had their own way of understanding that this was happening. There's 5 groups like this. Wow. There's 5 groups, multiple continents that are having the exact same kind of gathering. This is huge. Oh my goodness. Wow. Okay. But this may be the biggest, or at least one of the biggest. This is huge. That many people. all holding the space. I feel like what I'm being told is that all these groups were sending out basically a beacon signal saying we were ready. We are ready. And if this is a replay, that's what's happening right now. We are ready for the portal of all portals, apparently, to open up. Wow. And like this portal, this also marks a completion, a huge transition point from the old to the new. Okay. So now we're coming to the day of. Okay. The day of. One of the men from this group, not all groups had a delegate go out there on that field that day, but one of the men, it was the leader, the one with the, I think, the buffalo headdress, was one of the ones that were asked to go out there with a bunch of other men from various tribes. These are considered the head elders, maybe the most wise, or the most, I don't know, maybe the most in tune with whatever this is that's coming. Okay, I'll just share what I'm getting. There are other beings coming. Beings from out there. And that every tribe that was represented were, and I'm going to speak currently too, connected genetically or otherwise with these various groups. Everybody. Okay, I'm going to say again what I'm getting right now. This is an ascension point. It's an ascension portal, and we've actually gone through several of them for at least since 8899 whatever of 2019. I have been at least keeping track since then. We have been ratcheting up to this portal. And it does appear that our otherworldly connections are a part of this. So it's not just that we have a portal and we're going to lift up vibrationally. Our stellar family is what's coming to mind as the word. Our ancestors, they're all coming as a part of this to help bring in this new energy. So this means on 12/12, this time, we're not going to be alone either. They may not show themselves. We may not have massive million people gatherings happening, but I'm just going to say that must be happening now. You may even be able to feel them, as in that lifetime they may actually be encircling right now. You know, there's always a lot of activity on this planet from people that are not from here, beings that are not from here, but it's a parking lot out there. Already, however many have come, and there's more coming. Whew. This is huge. This is the end of a major cycle. Major cycle. I don't know how long it's been. I don't know if we've ever actually gotten to this point. Maybe we got close in that lifetime, but I think this will be the first time we actually really, but we'll see. We'll see. I'm just speculating right now. Let's see what happens. So he's walking out, and then there's many other men actually out there that have been called to do this as well. Okay, I think they each represent one of the more well-known groups out there. See if I can find out who this group is connected to. Who is this man connected to? What lineage are they from, if we're meant to know it? Okay. So remember, this group out there in the field represent a myriad of different beings from other worlds. This particular man represents the Syrians. Okay, he's a direct descendant, and the men that came with him are direct descendants of the Syrians. And most of us, there's been a lot written about the Syrians, and especially the Pleiadians, and a lot of the work that they've done related to planet Earth and the people on it. So that's not a surprising group that would be there, but that's who they're saying this man represents, that group. So I'm just saying. Sorry, I'm thinking out loud. And I will say that at least one of the tribes that I know to fit with the Syrians, and it does seem to fit with the trajectory of where they were coming from, and that's the Blackfoot tribe, who right now in the timeline, I think they're up in the northern Montana, Alberta area, Alberta, Canada area now. That doesn't mean they've always been there. Again, I'm not trying to choose any particular group to support. Everybody was being supported there at that huge gathering. This is just, I believe, where this particular group is that we followed across country is from. So let's see. Okay, they're standing in a circle out there, and they're actually got all the people, all the other people, standing in a huge circle around this open field. Some of them have come in a little bit, but for the most part, it's still an open meadow area where these men are now in the center, and they are facing outwards. They're in a circle, but they're facing outwards towards the other men. And there's a toning happening. Something where the men in the middle, but they're also being, like, they say something, then they say something, then they say, back and forth, however you describe what that is. They're saying words, and it sounds soft at first, and it is soft at first, and they get louder, and they get louder, and it's all, and it begins, I can tell you, it feels, it's getting louder, which is more loud than it would naturally be. In other words, it was being amplified by something or someone. I believe that the other beings that had come into the space, some of them were visible. I do believe that they could see maybe some lights, or maybe some, because it starts to get iridescent above them. It starts to get a mix of colors, and so I do believe it is a union. It's a union. It's a union of heaven and earth, of the otherworldly beings and the earth beings working together to create something that doesn't exist independently without the other. I do believe that this is creating a space of, maybe of time and space. A wormhole, possibly. I'm not an expert on all that. But something is opening. Something, a portal, is opening. It's opening. The energy is just off the charts. Everybody could feel it. Even the animals could feel it. I mean, this is huge. And remember, this is connecting with 4 other groups around the world that have the same thing going on. It apparently took this many people and beings to be able to pull this in. But why? And what is it that they're pulling in? And in the middle, I can see, even though it's definitely iridescent above them, I can see this kind of green orb kind of right there in the middle of it. It may not be an orb, it might actually be a portal, but I'm just seeing a circle of green. Okay, I can... Wow, okay. So, back here, my finger, back here is Happy Buddha. Actually, I've only had him for maybe a month or so now. Now, he definitely represents prosperity, but that's not why I have him here. And I have never shown him. I've never taken a video from this angle before where anybody could see him. He also represents joy. Now, it used to be that joy, and there might have been some changes over the years since I've read about this, but joy was at some point considered the highest level vibration, emotional vibration there was. Oh my gosh. I'm sorry, I'm speaking because I'm getting downloads here. Even though many of us may have been able to feel joy at points in our lives, there's a reason why we haven't been able to retain it. My goodness. I'm sorry, this is a big... I'm getting this information just in this moment, okay? We have felt it, but we haven't been able to hold it for any real length of time. Now, I got this Happy Buddha on purpose because in the last few months I've decided to embrace and do my best to get to laughing and enjoying life all the time if possible. And that's not something that would be very easy for me to do. I'm not one of those happy-go-lucky people. That will take a feat for me to achieve that, but that's my goal, is to get to that level. I have a green candle burning there on purpose. And I didn't choose this shirt knowing that this was connected in any way to him, but here's the green. And I believe joy emanates from the heart and the heart chakra. And now in this past life, I'm seeing this green. It's either an orb or the portal, or a portal, but this is the attempt by heaven and earth to bring joy into this physical reality. We were close enough at that point, it would just take a certain, whatever collective intention to bring it in, and we were there apparently last time. It even came into, we could see it now in the center. That green orb represented joy. We were so close, oh my God, we were so close. I'm just getting that it wasn't enough critical mass. So close. Literally, we could see it. We'd all come together. All the beings in the universe that needed to be there, and I mean universe. Just as some groups came from all the way across the continent, we had beings out there coming from everywhere. If they had any kind of a stake in the progress of humanity and Earth, they were there. And what I know is when we level up, so do they. Or vice versa, when they do, we do. It's just, we're very much connected with these other beings. So everybody had a stake in this. And I could see the men in the middle start to get a little shaky because they're holding, especially this connection with the other beings and everything, they're holding the energy of all that's happening above them. But it's taking too long. It's not getting just, you could feel the frustration beginning in them. Just, they're doing their best to hold this, but they're only human. And even the beings out there, they have their limitations too. And there's this window. Whatever the alignment is of the stars or all these things, this is, if it's going to happen, it's going to happen at this time. Oh man. This was going to be the brightest day ever, probably, on this planet. And they couldn't do it. They did not have enough people. They didn't have enough people. And I'm being told right now why. Okay. I will tell you in a second in the rewrite what we probably have to do. But it was so close, you could kind of see it coming in, and then over time, just one at a time, even people in the crowd just could not hold the vibration anymore. They tried for so long. It was horrible to everybody, because I knew what a huge, huge breakthrough that was going to be for everybody. It was going to halt the progression or slow it way down towards evolution, towards ascension really, especially for Earth, right? Wow. Ooh, I feel all that energy. What a terrible, it's terrible. As spiritual people, they knew what that meant. And they all had to go back, and I don't know what they did after that, but they knew they missed the window. Well, now, I can rewrite this outcome. I will rewrite this outcome, because we don't do it back then. We're not going to clear in 3 days' time. It's the 8th today, December 8th. So what, 4 days' time? We're not going to be able to even reach the threshold of the beginning of the portal. We have to get through it. We have to get through it. We have to reach the critical mass. So what I'll say before I rewrite this is that from a young teenager, I was made aware of the 100th monkey, what do they call it, syndrome? The 100th monkey syndrome, whatever. You can look it up. And it's very much questioned whether or not this really happened, but I don't really care. I do believe, and I believed back then too, that this is an actual phenomenon. And I think this is why I know. In fact, this may be the reason why I ran across it at an early age and have held on to this for so long. The critical mass is the key to everything. You don't have to have 100% agreement with people or 100% alignment with people to get something to flip energetically. You don't oftentimes need even 50%. It's unknown what the actual percentage is, but the idea is that if you've got 99 monkeys all aligned and working together, something happens when the 100th monkey comes into the group, which the 100th monkey represents the critical mass needed to flip something in the overall collective. Yeah. It goes from 100 monkeys knowing something to 100% of the monkeys knowing something. A huge leap happens. So that's the basic idea between the 100th monkey. We're not, right now, able to clear this 1212 portal. I know it. We haven't reached the critical mass. This video, why am I being called to do this right now? I could have recorded at any point in time. Why this one? Because somebody, one of you, is the 100th monkey. You may feel it. It doesn't really matter if you're the 100th or the 31st, 35th one. It doesn't matter. You're a part of that critical mass. So I'm going to thank you all right now up front, because I believe we're about to change that, and the 100th monkey can come in as soon as this is sent out to the world. So now I'm going to go back and I'm going to rewrite, because I already know what we need to do. All those men that had come from all over the world forgot, or maybe they just didn't understand the 100th monkey idea. That may have been it. And maybe the beings even that they were working with, some of them or all of them may not have known this either, but it's I believe, a fact now. They carried all of that on their own shoulders, and they felt like, since they were the spiritual ones, whoever they were, that they were the ones that were going to be best to bring this in. And they did not include, not fully, the other people in their tribes, the other people in their worlds. I guarantee you, on the earth alone, if all of them had been informed of this, and all the individuals, whether they could grasp the idea of it or not, even if just that day they all went, I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm going to support what everybody else is doing, and somehow this will make a difference. Even if they had no clue what was happening, that makes the difference. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to it needs to be incorporated out 2 years earlier when the call first went out to everybody. They need to tell their people before they leave to be aware on that day and to join them on that day spiritually on a soul level. And this needs to go out to all, this is probably going to be overkill by having all the other groups out there from the other worlds do this, but we want to make sure it happens this time. There's no doubt. If we were that close before, you incorporated all the extra people connected to those various tribes. And so whoever put out the call, who put out the call? It has to go with that message. Who put out the call? It's a ninth dimensional group. I don't think we need to know exactly who they are. Even if we know groups at the ninth dimension, it doesn't matter now. Somebody put out that original call. And whoever it is, they need to include that all the other people, beings related to those spiritual groups that were going to physically go and meet at that spot, that they instruct everybody to hold the same intention on that day at the same time. That's all that needs to be changed. So I'm rewriting this as I'm speaking because I know this is the answer to it all. I'm giving a few seconds for that new message to go out. The message just needed to be changed. It's being spread across the universe, across the United States and the entire world. I see now this group that we followed across. They're speaking to their people. They're making sure they leave people in place to hold the space spiritually and to make sure that that entire tribe is tuned in when they're supposed to, and before they leave. Now I can feel this right now shifting as this isn't fully in place yet, but it is shifting right now. You may even be able to feel it right now, no matter when you watch this video. You may be able to feel the power that I'm feeling right now as the entire earth gets the message. And it's getting the message right now too, once this is fully in place. In fact, actually, I'm being told this is both. This is what's happening back then, I'm feeling, but this is what's happening right now on the planet. Right now, planet Earth, December 2019. On the 8th, technically on the 8th of December, everybody is getting the call. Everybody is being called on a conscious or subconscious level to step in and hold the space on 1212 to lift the entire collective up and through that portal. And at the same time, we will have, I guarantee you, we've still got more otherworldly beings coming in to help support us with this too. And now they have connections. They have this new message being sent back to wherever they're from. This is massive, I feel it. This is the rewrite. The message is going out right now. It's going out, well, back then too. It's going out. But it's going out now too, as we approach this 1212 portal. Which is not necessarily, this one is not necessarily about joy, because we're about to change this 2,200 years ago. So I'm not even saying that the 1212 portal is about this guy over here and holding the space of joy, but it's what's needed to happen to clear whatever this 1212 one is about, because we're about to clear this. It may be about joy, or it may be about something else. I'm not really 100% clear. Or this is maybe a pre-opening. I'm not sure. Either way, this is about to be healed. Either way, joy can be held on this planet and no longer just on a fleeting moments. It can be the constant on this planet. It can be the constant out in the universe. Wow. This is huge, people. I had no clue of this before we started this past life reading and rewrite, but here we are. So I'm just going to intend that is indeed the rewrite. So now I'm seeing that orb going back, now that all this new information has been put in and all of these extra beings, there was no doubt. It was a very quick ceremony at this point because there was so much focus on it. This is right over where Boston is right now. So Boston, anybody from Massachusetts watching this, or you know anybody from over there, you're probably feeling this the most right now. And any of the other, wherever those other 5 were in the world, which I don't think we need to know that they were in other continents. You're feeling this the most right now because these are where joy was supposed to be anchored at. Boston, you're it in the U.S. Yay! You were it. You were it, and you're it now. So I really see it just anchoring into the earth right there. Like literally coming in and vibrationally, oh, see my hands doing that. Vibrationally just going right into the planet right there. Anchor points on the earth for joy. Wow. Wonderful. I'm just thinking that there's a lot of Irish going on in Boston, so there's a lot of green there. That's probably no accident either. Yay. So, yes, the heart chakra, green, is connected to joy. So if you want to really feel it, this might be a good color to be wearing, or light some candles around this to help support this energy over the next, especially few days or the next couple of weeks as we go through the portal and on into December 21st, which I believe is the end of a huge life cycle. So that's it, everybody. I have completed this past life regression, this rewrite, and now we have an idea of what's bringing us ever closer to this 1212 portal and its threshold. Joy. And I think I might have mentioned earlier, maybe I haven't, The twin flame and the divine masculine and divine feminine energies, the connection between these people. This is the key. This is the piece that I didn't get out of the first few videos that I did, was that joy now needs to be a part of it. Whether you're physically with somebody or just simply spiritually connected, it's time. Joy is now a part of it. It needs to be a part of it. It may be the cement that makes that union permanent. It can't hurt, I can tell you that. It can only help. So joy is the energy that needs to be held consciously right now for everybody across the planet. I appreciate you all watching. Again, if you're at all interested in me doing any kind of a private or group past life regression, I can do that. Just go to my website at rewritingtheverse.com and you can see more about what I do. Thank you. If you're watching still at this point, thank you. I know this is long. It's not an exciting thing. I'm not doing a whole lot over here other than, bringing in important information. And I knew I needed my buddy Buddha on my side, by my side for this one. I had no idea the happy Buddha would be a focal point of this past life regression. So thank you to all, and I'll see you on the other side of the portal. Bye.